Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed yet again. Nvidia launched the RTX 3070 graphics card, GameStop will not carry all games, and more. Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed by 21 days from its November 19th launch date to December 10th. This is despite the game having recently gone gold, which generally means it's a finished product. The delay was done to give the devs more time with the Day Zero update. This is a critical update that further refines the game while squashing bugs and fixing any hardware compatibility issues before launch. It's taking so long because Cyberpunk is effectively launching on 9 platforms at once, with next-gen consoles included. While the delay is understandable, it's also super unfortunate for the game's developers who found out at the same time as the public did. With some employees already reporting 100-hour work weeks, it's clear the devs are crunching hard to get the game over the finish line and onto the store shelves. Nvidia have finally released their $500 RTX 3070 graphics card. It performs slightly better than their previous gen RTX 2080 Ti, which was double the price at launch. And while the 3070's lead over that card isn't huge by any stretch, it is a massive improvement compared to the RTX 2070 Super, which comes in at the same price point. Against that card, the 3070 commands a pretty dominating 35% performance improvement on average. The lack of a sub-500 GPU from Nvidia is somewhat disappointing for PC gamers looking to get a nice upgrade on a more friendly budget, but it's hard to argue with the RTX 3070's price to performance ratio. Now, the 3080 on the other hand is Nvidia's flagship product and hands the 3070 its lunch in some regards, but for the average gamer, the 3070 will be more than capable even at 1440p resolutions. The ball is now in AMD's court to respond with their upcoming Radeon 6000 series GPUs. Those are being revealed tomorrow. The expectation, as usual, is that AMD's GPUs will lag slightly in performance. The differentiating factor, though, could be availability over everything else. And while Nvidia has launched 3 GPUs in the last 2 months, the odds of actually being able to buy one have been very low. It seems unlikely that AMD will be able to keep up with demand, but if they do, it could sway a lot of customers over to Team Red. AMD also made waves today by announcing the acquisition of Xilinx for $35 billion. Xilinx, if I'm even saying that right, are the inventors of the FPGA programmable systems on a chip and have already developed new technologies to push the integrated system industry further. Basically, they're one of the biggest names in tech, and the deal is comparable to Nvidia's acquisition of ARM for $40 billion last month. GameStop is allegedly planning to only stock retail packaging for the top 200 games in their physical stores. This means any game below that threshold won't appear on their shelves aside from a generic sales box that may or may not indicate that the game is currently in stock. Customers will have to ask employees if those games are available. GameStop has recently made some big moves to help secure its future. They just partnered with Microsoft to revamp and standardize all of the back-end and point-of-sale systems. The deal also includes a revenue split with Microsoft's digital game sales. These are both pretty significant developments, but a third move is drawing more scrutiny. GameStop is now offering a FlexPay program for leasing console hardware with a 200% markup, meaning if you wanted to buy an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, the cost would be nearly $1,200 over 12 months. That's absurd, especially considering Microsoft currently offers a lease that costs $600 over 24 months and includes an Xbox Series X or S and 24 months of the Game Pass Ultimate. GameStop's stock fell 10% after announcing its FlexPay program. Deleting your Facebook account now has pretty dire consequences for Oculus VR users. Doing so will forfeit all the Oculus VR games that you've paid for. What makes this problematic is that until recently, Oculus VR accounts were separate from Facebook accounts. With a Facebook account now required for new users, any issues with your Facebook account will spill over to your Oculus hardware. Last week, users started reporting problems with getting locked out of VR devices because their Facebook accounts were mysteriously locked due to suspicious activity. Not only do those users lose access to their hardware, but all the games they've bought for it are also on the chopping block. Overall, it's a gruesome situation that is only to worsen once Oculus accounts are merged with Facebook in 2 years. Valorant's latest patch added a new character called Skye and a left-handed option for players who prefer their view model on the screen's left side. Skye offers a ton of utility for locating enemy players and healing her teammates. While it doesn't seem like she'll be a direct replacement for the game's other healer, Sage, it's still nice to see the roster fleshed out with alternative healers. Star Wars Squadrons might not be getting any major content DLC, but it is getting some cosmetic DLC. The first pack is a Mandalorian-themed set of 8 items. They can all be earned via gameplay, and the most notable item is a Baby Yoda bobblehead that you can put on the dashboard of any New Republic ship. The DLC is free for all players. Elite Dangerous is also offering some free DLC for existing players, but it's of a much wider variety. Horizons, the game's planet-side exploration expansion, is now free for all players. This is a major move by the developers to cut down on player fragmentation and generate hype for the upcoming Odyssey expansion. The DLC will introduce an FPS mode that lets players explore planets on foot. Space Legs has been one of the game's milestone additions since its 2014 Kickstarter, and it's considered a pretty monumental addition to the game. In a lot of ways, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen have taken the reverse approach to release. Elite Dangerous has been launching highly polished expansions to an otherwise bare-bone experience. Star Citizen is slowly being built to launch as a feature-complete title with unpolished alpha builds released along the way. It'll be interesting to see where each game stands in a few years' time, assuming of course that Star Citizen is at least somewhat finished by then. The Halloween update for Rainbow Six Siege is now live. It offers holiday cosmetics and a sugar fight mode that's basically the standard Siege modes but with the same round respawns, meaning if you die in a round and your team holds on for long enough, you'll eventually respawn. In our final story today, Ubisoft's game streaming service will soon be available on Stadia and Amazon Luna. The service has been renamed from Uplay Plus to Ubisoft Plus and offers a massive library for games for $15 a month. While all the top titles and new releases on Ubisoft Plus will be available on Stadia and Luna, it's unclear if the rest of the catalog will be available. Probably the best part of the whole deal though is that you don't need to buy Stadia Pro or pay for Luna to access your Ubisoft Plus content. You can play it on either service or PC with no additional costs. And that wraps it up for Today in Gaming. Let me know what you thought about these stories down below. I know this Cyberpunk one for me is a major hit, but you know what? As long as we get the game one day, I'm sure I will forget about all the crazy delays that this dev team has gone through. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.